The fitness industry has convinced you that getting in shape is way harder than it actually is. And honestly, I think that's why so many of you stay stuck. Because every week there's a new diet, there's a new supplement, there's a new training method, there's a new biohack. And if you listen to enough fitness content, you'll start to believe you need all of it. One week it's keto, the next it's carnivore. Then you've got someone telling you that fruit is the problem. And then somebody else is saying you should skip breakfast. And then you've got another bloke on the internet telling you to point your arsehole at the sun for more energy. That's not even a joke. That's a real thing. Honestly, if you followed every single bit of fitness advice on the internet, you'd probably have a nervous breakdown before you lost any weight. The problem lies that most people giving fitness advice on the internet are not trying to make things simpler. They're trying to stand out. The average person does not have an information problem anymore. 20 years ago, maybe. Now, you have too much information. You open Instagram and you have 50 different opinions before you've even had breakfast. One coach is saying calories don't matter. The other saying carbs are the problem. Another saying it's your hormones. Another one saying it's your blood type. At some point, you've got to ask yourself, can all of these people be right? Obviously not. So here is what I would do. Stop trying to consume more information. Seriously, you probably know enough to get started. Most people don't need another podcast, another YouTube video, another influencer. They need to apply what they already know, because knowing what to do and doing it are two very different things. Nobody goes viral for saying eat mostly whole foods, walk more, lift weights, sleep properly. That's boring. You know what actually gets attention? That one weird trick, the secret method, the supplement no one knows about. Because simple doesn't sell very well, even though a good coach is good at simplifying things for you. Confusion sells massively online, probably as well as sex and fear, to be honest. And the fitness marketers have figured that out years ago, because the more confused you are, the easier it is for me to convince you that you need me. That's why I always tell people, if someone can't explain their method simply, be cautious. Because getting healthier isn't actually complicated. People make it complicated because complicated sounds valuable. Simple sounds boring, but simple actually works. The reality is much less exciting. Most people don't need keto. They don't need carnivore. They don't need intermittent fasting. The fuck? And before someone gets triggered in the comments, I'm not saying these things don't work. They can. What I'm saying is they're not magic. At the end of the day, the laws of thermodynamics still apply. If you are losing weight, it's because you are in a calorie deficit. Simple as that. The reason why you are losing weight isn't because keto is magical. It's because they're eating fewer calories. The reason why intermittent fasting might be working for you isn't because you've just unlocked some ancient fat burning secret. It's because you usually end up eating less. I'm not going to lie, the rain is really starting to annoy me. Where was I? And that's where people get caught out. They spend more time arguing which diet is the best than actually doing one. The best diet isn't the one with the coolest documentary on Netflix. It's one you can actually stick to long term. And one with mostly whole foods and enough protein. Because the diet only works if you're still doing it a month later, not for 3 days. If you are trying to lose fat, eat mostly whole foods. Eat enough protein, around 0.8 grams per pound of goal body weight. Resistant train, move more, stay in a calorie deficit, and have patience. That's it. It's not sexy, it's not groundbreaking, it's not something that someone can sell for £997, but it works. And nobody wants to hear that. Because people are looking for a shortcut. Because if the answer is simple, they think it can't be effective. The truth is the opposite. The basics have worked, and they've worked for decades. They worked before Instagram, they worked before TikTok, and they'll work 20 years from now. The problem isn't because the basics don't work. The problem is people abandon them before they get the results. And then they convince themselves that the basics don't work when really they didn't give them enough time. And honestly, if you're confused, I get it. The fitness industry has spent years making simple things look complicated. So if you are feeling overwhelmed by fitness lately, good, because you can ignore 90% of what you've seen online. You don't need a magic supplement. You don't need a special detox. You don't need a secret fat burning protocol. You just need to do the boring stuff consistently. And if you want help cutting through all the noise and actually focus on the things that matter, there's a link in the description that will take you to my landing page. Scroll to the bottom, fill out your name, email address, and send me a message, and that's where you can apply to work with me. I'll help you focus on the things that actually help move the needle and ignore the rest. Because getting the results is hard enough as it is, and you don't need the fitness industry making it harder.